Have you ever noticed this? You only start doubting yourself right before doing something that actually matters. New channel, new exam, new business, or a new version of you, and your brain goes, who do you think you are? What if you fail? What will they think? If that's you right now, good. Because it means that you're on the edge of your next chapter, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can feel confident when you're starting something new, even if right now you feel like an imposter with shaky hands. Stay with me because this might be the last time you let your fear stop you. When I say confidence, most people imagine this. Somebody who just knows they are good. No fear, no doubt, just born for this. That's a lie, because confidence is not a personality trait that you have. It's a skill that you build by how you talk to yourself and how you deal with your fears. And I'm the perfect example because I wasn't born confident. When I published my first book at 14, I didn't feel confident. When I published my first YouTube video, I was not confident. And when I started working with my first coaching clients, I was scared. I was overthinking. I wanted to hide. But after years of writing millions of words, speaking on stages, and working one-to-one with more than 100 people who felt stuck and confused, I started noticing the same pattern again and again, because there are a few principles that, once you get them, will completely change the way how you feel about starting. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you know you're at that point where you want to start a new chapter, but your mind is just running in circles with doubt, overthinking, and what ifs, I run a one-to-one clarity fast-track coaching program. It's for you if you're done waiting for confidence and you want someone to sit with you personally, map out exactly what you want, what's in your way, and turn all of that into a simple, clear action plan you can start working on this week. So if you want my help personally to fast track your clarity and momentum, there's a link in the description where you can apply and get all the details. To get you started, in this video, I'm going to give you a super simple and powerful framework that I call BCCS, 4 steps that you can use to create confidence on demand whenever you're starting something new. Let's go. I want to start this conversation by breaking the confidence myth because we've all been sold the wrong order. We think the sequence is confidence, then action, then results. So we wait. I'll start when I feel ready. I'll launch when I'm confident. I'll speak up when I stop feeling nervous. But in real life, the sequence is action, then result, then confidence. You do the thing. You get some feedback. Your brain goes, oh God, I didn't die, so maybe I can do this. And that feeling, well, that's confidence. So first, stop asking, how do I feel confident before I start? And instead ask, how can I make starting so small that I don't need any confidence yet? That's exactly where we'll go by first following step 1, which I call borrow confidence. When you're starting something new, your brain says, I've never done this before. I have no proof I can do it. And you know what? It's actually right. So how do you work around this? Well, it's simple. You borrow proof from 3 places specifically. And the first one is your past, because you've done scary things before. This is the first time you went into school. There was that first time you had that big exam or result, the first time you shared your work with someone, and the first time you had a serious conversation you were initially afraid to have. You were nervous then too, but you made it happen. You figured it out. So do this mini exercise with me right now. Think of 3 things in the past that you were once scared to start, but now they feel completely normal. Got them? Well, that's the proof that you can turn terrifying into no big deal with practice. The only thing is, your brain doesn't remember this. So you have to remind it again and again that your past is full of examples where you were confident and you made things happen, which brings us to the second place you can borrow from, and that is other people. Look at anyone you admire in your field. They all had embarrassing first attempts. Their first YouTube video was super cringe. Their first talk was so awkward. And the first product they released into the market was a total failure. And that's because they were starting without the confidence that you see in them right now. So instead of thinking, oh, they're special, they had everything, think, if they were allowed to be cringe at the start, then I'm allowed too. And that should give you hope, because if they were here and now they've gone so much higher, that means you can too. And that's the third source of confidence that we have, your future self. Imagine it's 1 year from now. You stayed consistent, you practiced, you showed up even when you were scared. And how does that version of you walk into a room? How do they hit record? How do they talk to people? And how do they handle opportunities? With confidence, with charisma, and with certainty. That version of you already exists, by the way, in potential. So when you're starting something new, say this to yourself: I'm not starting this as the scared version of me. I'm starting this as the future me who's already good at this, and in this moment, you will be borrowing that confidence. And this step now handles the emotional side of starting something new. Let's make it practical by going to step 2, that is see or chunk it down. Let me say something a bit harsh. You don't lack confidence. You're just trying to do level 20 things with level 1 reps. For example, you haven't made a single video yet, and you're judging yourself for not having a viral channel. You haven't even built a simple daily routine, and you're worried about a dream life that isn't even here yet. And you've just started learning the basics of something you want to, and you're already worried, I'm too late to succeed. Of course you feel overwhelmed, because your brain is like, we're trying to climb the Everest without learning how to walk. So that's why you don't need more confidence. What you need to get started are smaller steps. And that's where we'll use the 3-level chunking method. Whenever you're starting something new, break it down into a ridiculously easy step, or an RES, a realistic next step, or RNS, and then finally a stretch step, or SS. Let me explain this to you with an example. Let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. Your ridiculously easy step, or RES, would be writing 5 potential video titles in your notes app. That's it. Then your RNS, or realistic next step, could be recording a 60-second video on your phone. Not posting it, just recording it. And finally, your stretch step could be posting your first imperfect video publicly. The mistake most people make is they directly jump to the stretch step, which then makes them feel overwhelmed, and then they beat themselves up for procrastinating and being lazy and making excuses. Instead of that mess, here's a simple rule you can follow. If your brain feels resistance doing it, you are not at ridiculously easy yet. Go further, make it simpler, because confidence stacks up when you have easy wins. So design your starting point to be so small that you feel silly not doing it, which brings us to the next step, that is C, or courage muscle building. Confidence is a byproduct of courage. That's why you don't wake up confident, you have to train it like a muscle. And this is something I see all the time with my coaching clients. They don't suddenly become confident people. They do one tiny brave thing after the other, stack it up until their identity changes. So there's a simple way to do it. Do one tiny scary thing each day. Not huge, not dramatic, but just enough to get you off the edge. And there's a very mathematical way to do it. Let's have a fear scale that ranges from 1 to 10. At 1, the thing that you're wanting to do is like, it's easy, you don't have to worry about it. And at 10, it's so scary that you can't imagine doing it. It's right outside of your comfort zone. Where you want to live every day is between 3 to 5. Because at 0 or 1, there's no growth. At 10, you're too overwhelmed to start. So ask yourself, this new activity that I'm thinking of, where does it lie on the fear scale for me? If it's between 3 to 5, just go for it. You don't have to think twice, thrice, nothing. Just take that action step, because after 30 days of living on that edge, your brain will have 30 pieces of evidence that I can do things that scare me. And that's how you build confidence. That's how you build courage. That's how you can take the risks that help you shine in life. So if you're starting something new, the step you take is very simple. Just design 7 days of micro challenges that lead you towards it. And then a week later, you are not scared anymore. Which finally brings us to the 4th step that will get you out of your mind and into the action mode, which is S, make it about service, not self. This is the most powerful shift, because the number one killer of confidence is self-focus. How do I look? What will they think of me? What if I mess up? Well, here's the truth. The more you think about yourself, the smaller you will feel and the more worried you will be. So, flip it. Instead, ask yourself, who am I helping by doing this? How do they lose if my fear wins? And how is their life worse if I just stay silent and do nothing? Because here's the truth. Right now, your fear is loud and your purpose is quiet. What we need to do is we need to turn up the volume on your purpose so you can no longer hear your fears. And this is an example of how to do that. If you're starting a YouTube channel, there's someone out there who needs to hear your story to feel less alone. If you're starting a coaching or a service business, there's someone who needs exactly your way of explaining things. And if you're starting a new habit or a growth journey, there's someone that's the future version of you, your family, your friends, your future kids who need you to be alive, energetic, and bold. And that's why you need to turn up that volume of purpose and reduce the volume of fear. So the next time you're starting something new, try this 10-second reset. Keep your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath. And just remind yourself, this isn't about me looking perfect. This is about me helping other people and helping them win through me. Because when you put service first, you stop thinking about yourself, you start thinking about others, and the fear doesn't disappear, but it stops being the main character, and that's all you need to get started on your actions. And that's the 4-step BCCS framework where you borrow confidence, then you chunk it down into the easiest steps, you build your courage muscle, and you make it about service, not self, so that at the end of the day, no matter what happens, you are clear, you are confident, you are calm, and even if you don't have the evidence that you can do it, you can create that evidence and get started with the boost that you need. If you're starting something new right now, a project, a channel, a business, an idea, a habit, or even just a new chapter of your life, I want you to comment below and write, I am starting blank and my first tiny step is blank. Now fill those blanks with whatever it is that you're starting, and don't write a whole paragraph. Just write one sentence that is the promise to your future self, that is the proof to your future self that you can start anything you want. And if this video gave you even a little bit of courage and clarity, it will help someone else gain the same. So hit the like button and YouTube will know this was valuable for you. Subscribe if you want more tools for growing and going from confusion to clarity, and share this video with that one friend who keeps saying, I'll start someday. And if you're watching this thinking, okay, I want to start, but I know I need someone to sit with me, work through my problems, and help me get exact clarity, well, that's exactly what we do inside my 1-to-1 Fast Track Clarity Coaching. If you want my help personally to untangle the confusion in your head, understand exactly what you want, and create a simple, clear action plan for your next chapter, check out the link in the description, see the details and apply. If it's a fit, we'll start working together and move you forward fast. And remember, confidence is not what you wait for. It's something you build when you start scared and you start anyway. And I know you've got this because I believe in you. So now go ahead and take that first tiny step.